Welcome to another video of me trying to DIY decorations and things to do for our garden party coming up very soon. This one is probably a little more specific to us in that I want to make a board of before and afters of this house. If you've been following our channel, you'll know just where we started with this house, where everything was overgrown. It had been neglected for a few years and it really needed some love being put back into it. In the year that we've had this house, we have managed to do quite a lot, and a lot of the people that are coming to this party never saw them before. So I collected all the photos of the garden when we first moved into the house and I got them printed out when it looked something like this. I then went round and took pictures of the afters of where we are now, so it looks something like this. I have quite a few of these pairs of photos and I want to kind of display them on a big board so that everyone at the party can see just how far we've come. I got these printed in a 7x5 format, so they're a little bigger and you can see some more of the detail. So I'm going to need quite a big board to put them all on. I was thinking I could just get a big sheet of MDF or something like that, but I think there's something in the garden that might already be the perfect size and actually a perfect photo display board. So let's go and have a look. So this is a summer house, and when we first moved in there was a big metal frame covering this window, probably to protect the glass from the lawnmower kicking up stones or something, but I decided to take it off and it is now just sat here. It could definitely use a bit of a clean from all the cobwebs. It's a bit rusty, but that's fine. It gives it a rustic look. And it's quite big. I think it would be the perfect size. I've got a couple of peg options, some bigger ones and small ones. We'll see if any of these fit and if the photos will look good on there. Let's test it out first before I bother cleaning anything up. I would prefer to use these bigger pegs because I just think they're stronger, but whether they'd fit in this small hole. I think that's pretty perfect. I mean, that looks pretty perfect to me. Doesn't need to be anything fancy. These pegs are nice and strong, so they're not going to snap. I think the smaller pegs like that would snap quite easily, especially if people try and take them off and pin them back up. I could possibly add like a little plaque to tell people where it is they're looking so that they can go and discover it themselves, because by the time we get to the party it will probably look even more different than it already does. And that's just two. I think I have about 30 pairs, so that should fit perfectly. And because it might be raining on the day, I should be able to just lift this into wherever place. Can lean it up against somewhere. This is quite a good place because we're going to have a seating area here, but I actually might put this leaning against the trellis at the front of the house if the weather is nice enough. But before I put all the pictures on, I'll go give it a quick clean because it is covered in cobwebs. I might try it out in a few places before I put the pictures on, see where I think it will look best too. I might need Joe's help to come and lift it. Let me go get Joe. So I've just balanced it here for now. Eventually I think I want it along there, but I'll try and clean it up first and then we'll peg on the pictures. I might make a little sign to put at the top to say look how far we've come, or before and afters. I'll think of something clever, but first clean it up. So I've moved it into the position that I think it will look best for the party. It obviously won't be able to stay here because the party's still a few days away and I don't want it to get ruined with all the weather that's going on at the moment. So I'm going to peg up the photos in a rough kind of order. It's a little bit breezy today, so it'll be a good test as well to see if they'll stay up throughout the party. So there we go, that is all the photos up. They're in a sort of order, but also just wherever I could fit them in. And I think it looks great. There's space down here, and we will have our Polaroid camera, and Joe just made a good suggestion of putting some extra pegs around so people can peg up the Polaroids that we take throughout the evening. I think a little sign just up here to explain what it is. I think it's fairly self-explanatory, but it's just a good talking point for the party, and like I said, for everyone who has not been here before, they can really see just how much we've done. And that's another DIY party item done. This is Ellie in the future talking, and if you missed our last video, I mentioned how we were so busy at the party, we didn't actually get any footage of these DIYs in action. But I can definitely say everyone at the party loved this idea, and was so impressed by all the progress we've made in the garden. And I can use this for future parties too, adding more updated photos as we go, because it's still so crazy how far we've come, and how far we've got to go. So make sure you subscribe so you can say I was here when the garden was still a jungle.